Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to talk about the one thing we as parents should never, ever, ever have to worry about and should never be a part of our lives. And the one word I feel is imperative here is fear. We as parents should never have to fear our children. And a majority of estranged parents do. And I'm thinking, when did this all start? When did parents succumb to retaliation from their sons and daughters? And I'll tell you, from young on, you'll hear once in a while after you discipline them, "I hate you, Mom," and you're like, "Oh, that's the worst thing ever." It's you never want your child to say they hate you. And I'll tell you, I've faced some huge situations when it came to fear, being afraid, just things like that. And so the one thing I recall that happened a number of years ago is I was assaulted in the military. I was raped by a fellow soldier and didn't talk about it. And then a number of years ago, I found this person on Facebook, reached out, they hung up on me, and I eventually faced him in court. And I'll tell you, that was something I will never forget. I listened to the transcript after all was said and done, and I can't believe I survived it. I remember having to face my dad with his drinking and being practically comatose and having to do an intervention. That's unbelievable. Can't believe I survived that. I can't believe I survived that either. And so, why is it that we as parents, especially estranged parents, live in fear of our children? And when did that shift take place? Now, I was raised in a home where we were kind of afraid of our mother. I don't remember ever, I was never beat by her. It's just the authoritarian type. But we were disciplined and we had consequences, and so we had a fear, not only being raised Catholic especially, but we had we had a respect for our grandparents, parents, aunts and uncles, etc., and just the way it was. And I think, looking back, and I reflect on the person I raised my children with, their father, who was terrifying. And I think when I asked for a divorce so I would not repeat, so my daughters would not end up marrying men like their dad, I think to give them an easier life, I put them on the same playing field as myself, and I probably let them into situations they shouldn't have been subjected to, which was money and the fights and all of that. And so then I think I had a fear of my children leaving and going with him, which is a natural, healthy fear for anyone in a situation which includes domestic violence. And then I just remember my children started making rules, and I didn't want them to leave, and things started to shift in my house. So if you're afraid of your children, know that you are not alone. But it is not okay. And we should never be put in this position, and we are, but I'm letting you know that today is never too late to start and change the direction that your life has gone. I went to Al Anon. Al Anon allowed me the opportunity to set healthy boundaries with people, to forego being afraid of retaliation and threats and all of that. And I started to stand up for myself, and I started to set healthy boundaries. And did my children walk? Yes, they did. then I had to revamp my life, and I focus on people who focus on me. So just know life can start over today, and you shouldn't wait. So anyways, what's a good direction to go? I always say therapy, Al-Anon, go to church, realize what your worth is. Just know that you deserve better. So anyways, that's all there is to it. And I will be back